Welcome to my kitchen, where we bring Middle Eastern cooking to America. In today's show, I'll be making basterma. It's an Arabic sausage. With that, I'll be making sesame buns. Now we are ready to make the dough for the sesame buns, the bread that we are making. For this, I need 2.5 teaspoons of dry yeast, half cup water, 2 tablespoons sugar, let it sit for about 5 minutes. Now we'll add 5.5 cups flour, level the measuring cup, this is a really nice dough and it's easy recipe. It's 4, 5 and a half. Add some salt. Have our mixing attachment on. Mix all the dry ingredient with the yeast, and then gradually we'll add the remaining 1.5 cups of water. It's real nice, simple dough to make. Let it mix real well. Now everything is mixed. We will change the attachment, mixing attachment, to the dough hook attachment to finish kneading the dough. Now the dough it's nice and smooth, and you know it's ready when the whole mixture comes around the dough hook, then it's ready. Take it off. Form it into a nice ball. How nice the dough is. It's nice and pliable. It's not very stiff, not very soft. And I have a bowl that I brushed with some olive oil. Turn to coat all areas with olive oil. Cover with plastic wrap, brushed with olive oil, and then with a nice clean kitchen towel. Let it rest for about 1 hour until it's doubled in size. Now we are ready to make the mixture for the basterma. I have 2 pounds of ground beef and 2 pounds of ground lamb. Gently mix them. To this, I'll add 6 to 8 cloves of garlic, finely chopped, salt to season, mix spices, you can add more or less depending on how spicy you want your basterma. Also, some black pepper. That if you really like it to be spicy. Mix everything together. Until it's well incorporated. You want to make the basterma for around fall season or early spring when the temperature is in between 40 to 60 degrees. That's an ideal temperature for making the basterma. Now the mixture is nice and well incorporated, covered with some plastic wrap, and this will go in the fridge overnight to marinate. Mixture was in the fridge overnight. Now I'll weigh. Most of the time you use beef or lamb casings. Today I'm using the artificial one. It's made out of fibroid. They're real nice and sturdy, and there's no cleaning required, and they work beautifully to make the basterma. I like using those a lot. So what I would do is I'll weigh about 1.3 pounds, 1.3 pounds for each. Okay, this looks good. And I'll form it into a long sausage. This will be good for one of them. Then keep weighing the next one. We want to have all the same size and same weight. Looks good. And then the last one. That's perfect. This will be for the third one. Now, what I would do is I'll try to stuff one portion of this meat mixture into the fibroid casing. A little bit. I had soaked these in water for about 30 minutes. They'll be more pliable and easy to work with when you soak them in water. I want to use this whole portion. Push it as much as we can. At this point, I will tie. The other end is already tied. Now I'll tie this end with heavy duty twine. I'll try to even it out with my hand. I'll make few slits on each side and then use rolling pin to even everything nicely. Make sure there are no air pockets inside the mixture. And this looks good. Set this on the side. Then we'll make the next one. I will start by tying the bottom end with the twine and then work on stuffing the meat into the casing. Okay, you don't have to show this whole thing. Okay. This is almost. Try to push the meat in there. I like it when you divide your meat equally, so you'll have all of them the same size and same weight. Use the twine. Tie the other end. Slit on several of them on each side and try to even everything out with the rolling pin. Try to get all the air pockets out, and that's why we make these slits on each side. Even it out. Looks good. Now we'll take these into a cool, dry area away from the sunlight, from any breeze, to dry for about 10 to 14 days, depending on the weather, depending on the temperature. Temperature should be between 40 to 60 degrees, and then they'll be ready to serve. Ready to hang the Basterma. I'm using a coat hanger. Works really good. And it's in my garage. Temperature is about 45 to 50 degrees in here. It's away from any sunlight. Good. If you notice, I had made some earlier. These two here were made 2 weeks ago, so they're completely ready to be served. They're really nice and dry. These, they were made about 6 days ago. They're still soft inside, so they need about another week maybe to be ready. And these, I'll hang them and they'll be ready in about 2 weeks, depending on the temperature. Sometimes if the weather is too humid, you might need more days to dry your Basterma. If it's dry, you'll need probably a couple more days less. Now, I will take these two that they're ready and we'll start. I'll show you how to cook and serve the basterma. So these are ready. I'll take these down and we'll wait for the other ones to be dried. Leave some space in between them so they'll have enough room to dry. The dough is nice and risen. I have lined 2 baking sheets with parchment paper. I mixed some cornmeal with 2 tablespoons of flour. I'll sprinkle on the parchment paper. This will give the bread nice crust. Now I'll divide the dough in half. Gently, just roll it, and I'll divide each one in 6 portions. Shape each into an oval shape. This is a traditional Iraqi Samoon. Place it on the baking sheet. Cover it. And let it sit for about 20 minutes or so. Now the bread had risen again. I'll spray some water. Then sprinkle sesame seeds. Flatten a little bit. Cover and let rest for about 10 minutes before they go in the oven. Now the bread is rested. I will make 2 slashes on top of each bun. The sharp knife or even razor blade. Spray with some water. Spraying the bread with water will give you that nice crust. Will be nice and golden, and it's gonna have that nice thick crust on the bread. I have my oven preheated at 550 degrees. They'll bake in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes or until golden brown. The bread is ready. Look how nice it looks. beautiful Samoon sesame buns. Let it cool for a few minutes. Now we are ready to cook the basterma. I'll be making 2 different dishes. One just to serve with tomatoes and parsley, and then the other one with eggs. We have to peel off the casing because it's not edible. Shouldn't be eating this. I wish you can smell this. It smells wonderful. The garlic, the spices, it's really, really nice. Now we'll slice it to about 1/2 inch. I like to use serrated knife to slice it. It works much easier. If you have any extra portion that you're not gonna use, just wrap it with some saran wrap and it goes back in the fridge. You can leave it in the fridge for up to a week or 2. Or you can put it in the freezer for up to 6 months. I have the frying pan preheated. You don't need to use any oil to cook the basterma because it's gonna release some oil by itself. Cook it on each side for about 2 to 3 minutes until golden brown. Now we'll flip it over to cook on the other side. In the meantime, we'll have crack some eggs. About 6, 7 of them. That's good. Whip them. Pour them over the basterma. Sure to cover all of them. Let it cook. For a few minutes. Now, I'll place it in the oven and broil to cook for about 5 minutes. Okay. Nice and cook. Looks really good. ready to have breakfast. I've made some Basterma without the eggs, just with sliced tomatoes and some parsley. It's great with the bread that I made to make a sandwich with. And we have served some tea and some Basterma with eggs. It's wonderful breakfast to serve for your family, for friends, or just to enjoy as a brunch. Thank you so much for coming to my kitchen and enjoying Middle Eastern cooking. We hope to see you next time for more exotic dishes from the Middle East. You can find all these recipes in my cookbook, Treasured Middle Eastern Cookbook.